know time's short, and we're doing great things. But now, I gotta ask for help. One of the things that's going to help us get to the next level where I believe God wants us to be is we need more helpers. We need more people. Now, my goal here is to persuade you that everyone sitting in here is highly trained and equipped to serve in the children's ministry. You may say, oh, not me, I'm not doing it. Trust me, God gives us all the ability if we let Him lead. And that's that second part that I want to talk about. So, once again, it's children's ministry. Now I'm going to test it. We're going to play a game called Icon IQ. Now, for those of you, an icon is a picture or symbol that is universally recognized to be representative of something. So, I'm going to see if you all know these.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A.
Hey, you guys can't, we have this lesson in children's. Facebook. Yeah, you all know, right?
Gator.
Yeah, there you go for you Gator fans. I helped you out, okay? Now, are you ready for this one? Romeo Baptist Church. Now, I want to be very careful before I continue with this because I don't want to be misunderstood. Because it's not what we think, it's not what anybody around has said, but when we look overall, all the churches across the United States, do you know what that icon represents? It represents something that's not relevant. It represents something that is not needed. And it represents something that's not loving. Do I think that's here? No, I do not. Please do not take that. But what I do know is those are exact targets Satan uses to pull our children. Now, what can we do about it? Jerry Falwell had a quote that said, if it is Christian, it should be better. If we want to fight for our children, we got to get better. You never stay the same. We're either going to get better or we're going to get worse. It's never the same. So if it's going to be Christian, if it's Christian, it should be better. But to become better, we need lots of prayer. Everyone in here is equipped to pray. Everyone. Nothing is as strong as corporate prayer and personal, deep prayer with God. We also need unity. Unity is what binds us all together. When the attacks come, we can stay strong. And we need our MVPs, our most valuable persons. So with prayer, we all know it's our fundamental to our belief. All of our relationship with Christ all started with a prayer. But it also keeps our focus on God, and it ensures that it's selfless, not selfish. If our vision is on God, and we're doing what God has directed for us to do, guess what? It's not going to be about Mr. Scott. It's going to be about Him. Because everything we do should reflect Him. And my prayer is that we have a mind to work. Because through that mind of work, and adopting that mind of work, it brings unity. How important is unity? In John 17, Jesus was praying right before his arrest and crucifixion, and He said, Lord, make them one as we are one. That's what important unity is. Why is it important? Because it gives position and it gives sequence. In Nehemiah, it says in chapter 3, just a couple words I want to share with you real quick. Next to and after him. You'll see those words all the way through that passage. What does next to mean? It means they're close enough to be together that we can encourage. Let me give you an example of this. This award ceremony came after a phone call I received from someone who wanted to help out with the children's ministry. Yes, it was the pastor's wife. Now, what she said, hey, I have an idea. What do you think of this? And I said, well, yeah, but I'm flying around and work. I'm so busy and stuff. But right then and there, because she was there, hey, we can do this. Just hearing those words of encouragement, God convicted my heart and said, you lazy bum. It's for the children. So we all have tender feelings for your children. Are we equipped? Yes, we are. But that next to is the encouragement. And that's where all the teamwork comes together. And the after him means sequencing. See, not everybody, all the work in the children's ministry just isn't teaching. There's things that go on, taking children to the restroom, listening to Bible verses, helping, just praying with them, or just encouraging them. There's so many things that can do that. You don't even have to be able to teach anything. Did God equip us? Yes, He did. So those 4 words, next to him and after him, is what really led me to this old adage about team. Together, everyone achieves more. And these are our teams. And if you look in your invitation, in the middle, it'll have all the teams listed. I'm not going to waste a lot of time because I know time is short and we got to get going. But the reason why we have these teams is because no one piece is more important than any other piece. Each piece builds on one another. That, after him, is the sequencing. And when we have that sequencing, trust me, if I had to do music, Miss Kathy would have nobody for VBS. Because I'm not gifted at that. But you give me a whole bunch, we can go outside and do games, boy, we can tear it up then, you know. But that's where God's giving me the gift. That's what it is. And you know what's so amazing is, inside of all these teams right here, everyone except the teach team and the, probably the techno team if you work with me, because I'm terrible, but no more than an hour a week. No more. Isn't that worth? Aren't our children worth an hour? And you know what? God gave us that time to be a good steward. So these are our teams. And this is a breakdown of teams all listed there. All the talents, all the skills, all of them are in there. Because you know one thing that I do know is that when we're together in unity and we're together in prayer and we're putting all of our strengths together, nothing out there can stop what we're doing here. And nothing that we're doing here is going to be effective when we go out there to put it to service. That's where it is. You ask me how I believe about that? That's me. If anybody knew me, I'm sorry, but one of the things is that if there's a puddle, I'm going to jump in it. Sometimes I get it over my head. But you know what? Let's get after it. Because you know what? I wouldn't want to waste another day. Just like our song said. We all have this. We all build on one another. We're all equipped to serve. And you know what? When we do that, the reason is because it takes a church to raise a child. It's not one person. It's a church. 1 Corinthians tells us about all the gifts. It tells us that, hey, look, it's all different gifts, and all different teams, and all different styles, and all different abilities, but you know what? It's serving one God. And when we're together in that one God, we can't go wrong. And you want to know what in the world does a tomato have? Well, you ever cut into a tomato?
No.
All right, well, if you do, guess what's going to happen? If you have a sharp knife, it works better. But if it doesn't, isn't it amazing how many seeds are in a tomato? And you know what? That tomato started with one seed going in the soil, and it grew a tomato plant. But out of that one seed, you know what's amazing is? That one plant gave at least 12 tomatoes. And inside of those 12 tomatoes, there has to be 1 million seeds. But you know what's so amazing is? Sometimes in our life, we get discouraged. And we say, hey, you know what? What effect can I make? What can I do? Well, you know what? We plant that seed in our children. And we cultivate it together. And we grow. The ripple effect is going to be a changing of the world. Because these guys are Christ's legacy. And that's what we need to sell out for. But I need your help. And the reason is, we talked about icons. And the last thing, shouldn't that reflect that? I want to thank you for your time, Pastor. If I went over, I'm sorry. But I'd like to close with this one song real quick because it's so true. We need everybody, young, old, all of it. And I thank you for your time. And as we do go into offering time, just go to Lord.